Okay, let's do that. Danielle, you're a historian. What is an untold story that we don't know?
Well, something that I just found out that many people didn't know about, I guess, with the start of a new show called The Watchmen. So I am originally from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and so I grew up knowing about Black Wall Street. And apparently, that was not widely known, even amongst Black people. I found when I got to college, and definitely amongst the vast majority of white people. So the bombing of Black Wall Street is definitely one that pops into my mind.
Yeah, I have to go back to Donald Trump because he said that he made Juneteenth famous. And I heard you, Danielle, say, well, maybe with white people, but just like there were Black people that didn't know about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, there are Black people that had no clue as to what Juneteenth was other than red soda water and barbecue. Let's keep it real here on the Tammi Mack Show. And so I have to say, he probably did.
Yeah.
He really probably did put Juneteenth on a platform that allowed it to be in the light that it is today. I mean, really, we've got corporations now giving today, like corporations made a decision 2 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago to give their workers off
Mhm.
on Juneteenth. Like it took them 2 days to say, you know what? I think I'm gonna give the Black people off on this day. You know, and it took them how long to make Martin Luther King Day a holiday?
Well, for me, I think that when the protest turned really violent, those protests happened, as we used to say, Tammi Mack, north of Wilshire.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And so I think this is why you're starting to see all of the attention paid to, oh, we got a Black holiday coming up. Oh, let's celebrate Juneteenth. I feel like there's the emergency mode where they want to celebrate all things Black. Our studio is located I'm probably the only Black man within miles. And I've got to tell you, when the protests began to happen, our business community boarded up the storefronts and everything like that. But there were these beautiful murals, Black Lives Matter, oh, George Floyd. And I have to tell you, I wonder how genuine that sentiment was, or were they just boarding up and reacting into all this rhetoric we're starting to hear post-protest? Is this them just trying to protect themselves, or is it a direct effect that now that they have protested and rioted in their neighborhood, are they now reacting?
Dr. Cooper Owens, we have one of our soulmates who has a question for you. It's Shay Jim Dropper. Shay Jim Dropper says, can you ask Deirdre about slavery being legal if someone is convicted of a crime? Now, I assume that meant prisoners.
Yeah. So that's a whole different story. And this is what I would say. Ava DuVernay's documentary 13th, I think does a wonderful, what we historians call a synthetic read of history, but it's a bit more complicated. And so yes, involuntary servitude is for those who are quote unquote legally arrested and imprisoned for committing crimes. So in terms of slavery, which in this country was through birthright. So originally it was through sale from the Middle Passage, and then it becomes through birthright. And then it becomes racialized into Blackness. So you can have indigenous or native people who were slaves, but by the time slavery is an institution, it's Black. It's synonymous with Negro, with African, with Black. So involuntary servitude is predicated upon criminal offense. And so there is a difference. And so that's where I would say, there are a number of books by historians. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't read our books because we only are published often by academic presses. And so there's a particular kind of dry style that we have to write in. But if we can get in the popular press and do our talks and those kinds of things, we start to bring out the nuance. And what I will say, even for me, when I do my public speaking, and Tammi knows, because we're Facebook friends, we've been friends for a very, very long time, I'm talking to all kinds of people and I'm speaking in a way that they understand, it is accessible, and they're like, okay, now I see the difference. Now I understand the subtle differences. So there is a marked difference. It isn't exactly the same, but there are lots of similarities.